And now we are ready to begin our second character here. We're going to try and be a little bit more efficient on this one. We already have our brain juices flowing. We got some nice calming ocean music playing. Race is going to be 2d10. Roll it. 9 and an 8. Looks like we have another tiefling. So actually, yeah, because tiefling is 9. Tiefling who favors her human, his or her human side again. Gender multiclass is a percentile. 5, another female. I don't say that in a negative fashion. Just it's surprising always because we've been probably like 70-30 or 80-20 female to male, and it's an even distribution. Alignment was 2D hundreds. 4134. Is this lawful good? Neutral. Okay. Maybe I can try adjusting lawful a little bit instead of a 20% chance, just to bump it up a little bit and get some other variants in there for storytelling purposes. Does she use feats? Oh, wait, we got to do level, which is 1 percentile. Her level's 83. That's a 14 character. We can do it. Oh, we'll do it. And feat was a percentile as well. 25. Nope, she's going all stats. All modifiers, or ability score adjustments. Her class is a D12. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, we are getting a lot of rogues here. And we're rolling a D3 for her style. 1. Another thief. Let's see. Big Break says, let's make a gnome. Sure. You know, because we've pounded out a lot of rogues lately. So, I don't know. In spirit, this is who she would have been. But in this time, especially because I do want to make sure that we're abbreviating, at least for this session. You know, when we get into weekends, there's some other personal things that I want to make sure I can attend to. So it's nothing about you guys or me not having an interest in it. It's just I need to make sure that I have the me time as well. We can keep the rogue. Let's change her to a gnome, because I think we've only had the one. We'll take Big Break's suggestion here. A gnome bard. I would put a bard, except I do want to watch the time, and picking spells and such can be a little time consuming, especially for a higher level bard as such. So Steel Dust, we can keep that in mind for maybe a future time. This time, and by the way, Steel Dust, welcome and thank you. But what we can do, because we rolled thieves, I think like the last 2 times, we can do a partial spellcaster. I'll kind of meet you halfway, because in Arcane Trickster, like bards and rogues are already close together. Bards are full spellcasters. Arcane Tricksters are kind of like 1/3 casters, or like one half or so. So we'll do that, and we can throw in a couple spells for utility. We'll make it a gnome of the... we rolled even, so it would have been the subrace 2 for gnomes, which is a rock gnome. That will make for a very interesting Arcane Trickster, because you get a little trinket that you can make with it. We'll still be neutral good. Our background is going to be a D13. It's going to be a 7. We'll fill that in while we're up here. NA for the experience points. We get an inspiration. Here's our standard spread. 10 and 8 to consider. And we come down here, and starts at 2'11" plus 2d4 inches, plus 5 inches. So 3'4". And we take that same number, 5, times 1 pound. So she is also, boy, she's letting herself go, right? A whole 5 pounds. She's coming in at 40 pounds. Percentile for age, 24. So she is going to be young adulthood. And, you know, when you write an age at home, you don't have to stratify it as such. I do it just so that we have a storytelling reference and it makes it easier to discuss in this kind of a platform. Young adult for a gnome. So adulthood starts at 40, just like as adulthood in our culture starts at 18. Are 18-year-olds adults? Yes, technically, but do they have the maturity and experience, etc.? So we're going to start at 40. They can live to be 450. So I think what we can do is roll. Let's roll 2d20 and see how much past 40 she is. Plus 19, so she is 59 years old. A nice young, spry adult gnome at 59. I'm going to play as an Arcane Trickster and really go hard with the Trickster part. And essentially be you can kind of be a Loki, right? Some people never reach adulthood, but they do a good job pretending. Yes, they do a very good job. All right, we're getting this down to a science here. We don't need to worry about that. Age, so this is taken care of. Bloop. Now we can come over to backgrounds. And we're looking for background. You know what? I was a little too early. Background 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is a hermit. Okay. Tre Interessante. We haven't done a hermit before. That's inspiration. Ideals. Okay. Charlatan. No, we went a little too far. Keep forgetting every click since I've redone this is a page. You've lived in seclusion, either in a sheltered community such as a monastery or entirely alone. And this is similar but different to the Outlander. For a formative part of your life. In your time apart from the clamor of society, you found quiet, solitude, and perhaps some of the answers you're looking for. We get medicine and religion as our background. We gain proficiency in an herbalism kit. And languages. Whoop. Being a gnome, we get common, gnomish, and question mark from being a hermit. And we can come back and fill that in. Scroll case with notes of some kind. They could be personal philosophies, religious literature. You know, she's an Arcane Trickster, but that doesn't mean she can't still be a devout follower of a faith of some kind. Maybe she is an artistic hermit. She wanted to just go out and, you know, study happy little trees and squirrels, or to work on some kind of something. Maybe she went into the woods to find a medicine or something, and she just never came back out for a while. Hermit's talking to the fairies. Fairies are yeah. So we might be able to roll with that. Let's see some of her other random traits, and I'll keep that in mind. Big break. That's very good. Maybe she did, in fact, do that. And in that case, I, as your DM, if we're rolling this, or maybe the Fae are going to have something to do with the campaign, I would say, you know what, you thought about it. We're rolling with it. Like normally, that is not a common language for people to learn. Though I would be willing to make an exception here, or even to super specialize it in some case. Also being a rogue, she's going to get Thieves' Cant as well. She's getting 5 gold. She is getting an herbalism kit. A winter blanket to keep you warm, but not quite a bedroll. And common clothies. What kind of life of seclusion has she lived? This is going to be a D8 roll. 7. I was the caretaker of an ancient ruin or relic. Ooh. Ooh, right? We rolled a city that's on top of a ruin. And before this, we just rolled a chaotic evil caster. And that city had, I mean, it said wizard, but we could make a sorcerer all the same. We might end up making NPCs we can weave into a story about the city we rolled up last night. Hermit and ruin caretaker. Feature is discovery. The quiet seclusion of your extended hermitage gave you access to a unique and powerful discovery. The exact nature of this revelation depends on the nature of your seclusion. It might be a great truth about the cosmos, the deities, the powerful beings of the outer planes, or forces of nature. It could be a sight that no one else has ever seen. You might have uncovered a fact that has long been forgotten, or unearthed some relic of the past that could rewrite history. It might be information you would be that would be damaging to the people who are consigned to you or exile, and hence the reasons you return to society. So maybe if we're going to weave this into the mod that we made through the map, what if she lived on Comran's Scar, which is kind of what I default named the island out in the lake, and she saw that vegetation was falling off. She saw what lay underneath. She started hearing this rhythmic breathing or heartbeat that was slowly reawakening, and so, you know, she's a part of this. She's a part of this village, and so she knows these secrets, but she secluded herself to study them. But now that things are happening, she can come back into town and talk to you all as the adventurers, right? If we, in a meta sense, are the developers of the mod or the DMs, and we're running it for you as players, so she becomes this important NPC. Yeah, Comran's Folly, Big Break. That's right. Prefer gnomes as techno-gizmologists, like in first and second Bubonicone says. Or, I'm probably putting the wrong emphasis on the incorrect syllable. Is it, it's Bubonic 1, I presume, right? Instead of Bubonicone. That's why this place is so much fun. In a way, rock gnomes are gizmologists. She's going to actually get a trinket she can start with. Memory lapse. Yeah, we finally got a hermit. Suggested characteristics. Here are our 2 personality traits, which are going to be 2d8s, a 4 and a 1. And then we roll 3d6s for the others. 2, 1, and 3. Her first personality trait, I feel tremendous empathy for all who are covered up by other windows. For all who suffer. Ooh, if this scar or this, jagged piece of igneous rock is trapping, it's trapping like a Leviathan beast that ultimately, maybe it is ultimately evil, I don't know. What if she ends up accidentally, like innocently, freeing it because she feels empathy for this thing, and she might set into motion the demagification of the aqueducts and of everything there, and then, that sets everything off. Well, no one might know she's out there, or just think, oh yeah, that's the old woman, right, in human terms, not necessarily in Elven, but she's the hermit that lives out on the island. No one would have suspected her of doing anything because she's never caused problems. And here she might have been the one this whole time. 1. I've been isolated for so long that I rarely speak, preferring gestures and the Occasional grunt. Bubonic 1. Okay. Who cares, though? Few have guessed that. You're one of a few. Ooh, too far, too far. Come back. Her ideal is 2. Logic. Emotions must not cloud our sense of what is right and true, or our logical thinking. So we do have that she feels tremendous empathy, but she's still looking at that empathy with this sense of logic. So she's receptive to it, and she understands it. But where people might say, oh, I feel sad, she says, I recognize you're sad. Now let's do something about being sad. You know, she's like the one friend who, like, you just want to, like, you want to have an immature fit, or you just want to have, like, a bad day and just eat ice cream or something. And she says, no, let's fix your problem. And you're like, I don't want to fix my problem, but I do. Her bond is number 1. Nothing is more important than the other. Members of my hermitage, order, or association. Again, if we work this into the story that we made around that place, what if she's the last, like the last of the order, or the order still exists, but they're spread out, and she's the one for this place, keeping an eye on the people who've come to live atop the ruins of the old village and aqueducts. And so she is trying to keep the order. She's trying to keep the peace, but bad things happen. Almost like a Deckard Cain, right? Like, he was the last of the Haradrim, but bad things keep seemingly happening around him. If you're familiar with Diablo, which is the reference. And that has some sort of connection to what's happening under the city? Yeah, that could very well be. I think we're getting something really cool and cohesive here. And what's her flaw? Let's take a look. I am dogmatic in my thoughts and philosophy. In other words, things have to be done a certain order. They have to be processed a certain way all the time. Which is generally what being dogmatic means. But really she's just containing it unknowingly. You know, that could be. And, dogmatic in thoughts and philosophy, that's, a lot of people can attribute that to superstition. Like, you have to, anytime you mention someone bad, someone's name that's bad, you gotta go, like, patoo, patoo, patoo. Like you're spitting on them, or, athletes have their lucky socks that they never wash, kind of a thing. That could be dogmatic, right? You do the same thing in the same order every time. And so maybe that's what she's done in some way. Cool. Other hermits. This hermit background assumes a contemplative sort of seclusion. If you want to play a rugged wilderness recluse, you know what? I think if you want to go more religious direction, the acolyte might be what you're looking for. I don't think we need to bring her to be directly religious. With what we rolled and how we're starting to weave her into that story, I think she's good as a straight up hermit as we rolled her. Or you could even be a charlatan posing as a wise man, or a woman in this case. Cool. Now let's go to our genomes. Int pops up by 2, which is going to be important for an Arcane Trickster. Size, speed is 25 feet. Dark vision, 60 feet. Gnome cunning, you have advantage on all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws against magic. And then we have the subrace of Rock Gnome. You get a bump to Con. Artificer's Lore. Whenever you make an int history check related to magic items, alchemical objects, or technological devices, you can add twice your proficiency bonus instead of any proficiency bonus that might normally apply. And this is kind of getting into the old edition of gnomes. You are, or she is in this case, a tinker. She has proficiency with artisan's tools, tinker tools. Tinker, and she's going to get thieves from her class. We'll just go ahead and pre-fill that in. You can spend 1 hour and 10 gold worth of materials to construct a tiny clockwork device. The device ceases to function after 24 hours unless you spend an hour repairing it, or when you use your action to dismantle it. At that time, you can reclaim the materials used to create it. You have up to 3 such devices active at a time. When you create a device, choose one of the following options. A clockwork toy, such as an animal, monster, or person. When placed on the ground, the toy moves 5 feet across the ground on each of your turns in a random direction. It makes noises as appropriate to the creature it represents. Firestarter. The device provides a miniature flame, which you can use to light a candle, torch, or a campfire. Using the device requires your action. Or a music box. When opened, the music box plays a single song at a moderate volume. The box stops playing when it reaches the song's end or when it's closed. Bubonic one, dogma is the bad part of organized religion, and that this is your kind of gnome. Jedi tricks don't work on Big Break. Big Break is suggesting at first she thinks she's protecting something, but really she's just containing it unknowingly. Okay, yep. Memory. Memory sent over a note to me here. Okay, I'll take that into consideration for something in the future here. Memory. Now we go to classes and scroll down to Rogue. Or if you flip some letters, it becomes Rouge. Monk. Monks are cool. I would love to roll up a monk with you all. I don't mind doing it random. I'm not pining to make anything in particular. Though if we get a couple that are really similar, such as this one, how it started, I think that we have enough of the others. Well, let's try something else here. Paladin. Here we go. Ranger and Rogue. $14d8. 14d8. Light armor. Simple weapons. Hand crossbows. Long, short swords. And rapiers. We already have Thieves' Tools up there. Dex and Int are going to be what we're good at. And then we're going to choose 4 from Acrobatics, Athletics, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Investigation, Perception, Performance, Persuasion, Sleight of Hand, and Stealth. I can almost imagine this now, right? Because we're building an Arcane Trickster. She is smart. Intelligence is going to be one of her things. I almost want to say investigation. Pardon me. Investigation. Sleight of hand, right? If she's tinkering or making things, sleight of hand isn't just pickpocketing. It's also like lock picking and doing fine work. So there's 2. She's kind of out of the way, so not too... We don't need too much in the social skills for her. Though maybe something like acrobatics to help her get around the island, right? Because until recently in this story, it had a bunch of brush and trees and everything, so she could like kind of swing around, and it was kind of like this, like a steeply inclined spire of rock. And so, you know, yeah, you might be able to climb a little bit with athletics, but maybe acrobatics serves the day. Or if she did kind of a not Robinson Crusoe, the why am I derping on the name? The family that gets shipwrecked and they make like a big tree house out of the boat that they were on. Swiss Family Robinson, was that it? So maybe she does something like that where she has some like Rube Goldberg devices or something to carry her around. And of course that's another reason why she's threatened, is because this structure is falling apart as this thing is waking up. I've never named a female gnome before, and memory says, here's your chance, Big. So acrobatics, investigation, sleight of hand, and stealth. To stay hidden and out of sight and away from everyone. She's not social at all. 14th level. Let's look at our chart up above. We have a +5 proficiency. And our sneak attack is at 7d6. Whew, man. You want advantage as much as possible. Rogues can really be damage outputters. Not much one that cares for others but loves tradition. Yeah, you don't need others. Like, others have already told you what needs to be done, and so, you know, if they're not doing it, you know, if they're not doing it your way, then, you know, why bother? Leave everyone to their chaotic, wine-crushing lives. That you have this order to maintain. So we have those. Let's give her... Let's give her a rapier. Since it's like smaller, more flexible, like a needle. I can even see her using a rapier maybe in some tinkering ways, or maybe it has like like rapiers are a pointy end and they're piercing, but I don't know, maybe it's like one of those like really long screwdrivers or something, you know. So she's she can have it do double duty. Like if it's the Phillips head, right, it comes to a point instead of a flat head, kind of a thing. Rapier. Short bow and quiver and arrows, or a short sword. She probably will go for the short bow. And 20 arrows for the starting package. Burglars, Dungeoneers, or an Explorer's pack. There's going to be more like tinkery things and like little things that she would like. I believe like tools and such in a Burglar's pack. Leather armor. 2 daggers. And she gets thieves' tools. Expertise. Beginning at first level, you know how to strike subtly and exploit a foe's distraction. Once per turn, you can deal an extra... Oh, no, that's sneak attack. No, this is... we're going to actually get 4 skills or 3 skills in her thieves' tools to provide double proficiency at. I believe that while she's not in town actively picking locks, she should get proficiency in her thieves' tools. Just because it's finer. Or, again, you're coming to me as a DM and you want to give her more of the tinker focus. And in that case, I would most likely tell you, yeah, you know what, we can have her be expertise at tinkering instead of thieves. But for what we're doing, we're going out with a by-the-book random character generation. We'll just call it thieves' tools for right now. And we can always go back and reflavor it in the mod that we're making. Okay, memory. I'll note that. I got that's a side thing for anyone who's wondering who I'm talking to about that. Her background is heavily not leaning toward good. Um, Not necessarily. So her background is just, she's a ruined caretaker. She's a hermit. Doesn't mean that she's a bad person. She just does things in a consistent fashion. She wants to maintain her order. She thinks that she's doing something really good, and I think that can still work for a neutral good. So we'll think about three other skills. She's also going to get cunning action. Rogues are just, oh my gosh, rogues are really cool in this. They're all cool, but like you are a survivor as a rogue. It's like rogues and monks. That's kind of a thing that they share on the Venn diagram. Uncanny Doge. That's her pet. Evasion. Reliable talent is also really good. It's kind of, and then they kind of share that with Bard, where they get Jack of all trades. Reliable talent is kind of a same thing but different. Blind sense. She's like those soldiers who can take apart and put back to their together their guns with the blindfolds on, right? Because she's a tinkerer. She's just doing all this, or the Tony Stark in a cave when he has this, grievous heart injury. And she's just shy of getting a slippery mind, which could be important depending on what's lurking underneath that rock, especially if it's an aboleth. Ooh. Thief, Assassin, and Arcane Trickster. So she has studied spells, and she has some limited spellcasting ability. She gets Mage Hand, Ledgered Mane. Starting at 3rd level, when you cast Mage Hand, you can make a spectral hand invisible, and you can perform the following actions. You can stow an object, you can retrieve an object, you can use thieves' tools to pick locks or disarm traps, or in this case, she's sitting at her desk reading, and, she's reading, and she's kind of like guiding a hand. Maybe she's making one of her little tinker toys with it. You can perform one of the tasks without being noticed by a creature if you succeed on a dex sleight of hand. Magical Ambush, starting at 9th level. Magical Ambush. You're hidden from a creature. When you cast a spell on it, the creature has disadvantage on any saving throw it makes against the spell. That's very good. And she gets Versatile Trickster. We definitely want her to be Heidi. Heidi and good with her hands. You gain the ability to distract targets with your Mage Hand. As a bonus action on your turn, you can designate a creature within 5 feet of the spectral hand created by the spell. Doing so gives you advantage on attack rolls against that creature at the end of the turn. So she casts her Mage Hand, and it like appears behind the target, pokes them, and they go, huh? And then she goes for the kidneys with her 7d6 sneak attack. By herself. She doesn't need to rely on other people with that. Mike Tyson is the best monk. So that's resurrecting a prior conversation that was had in here after after the stream was finished. We should create a character sheet for Mike Tyson for the future. That could be. You bring up something big break where I can load up some different names or take suggestions, and all of us will try and create a character level for Mike Tyson, Abraham Lincoln, Sun Tzu, Jackie Chan, or other people. We get some talk about the assassin special ability off of the other rogue build. So I think this is going to help make up our mind for expertise. We should definitely want stealth and sleight of hand. And maybe, if only for her background purposes, right? She's not necessarily religious. It doesn't mean that she's not, but she's not overtly religious, but yet she's of this old order. She's this kind of guardian of these ancient ruins. What if we made her other expertise in religion? So, yeah, she could be a part of this religious order, or she's approaching it in an academic fashion, such as someone today talking about Egyptian gods, or, or about Norse mythology, and, you have a doctorate on the topic, even though it's not a heavily practiced religion anymore. You can still speak to authority about this, and that also might help reinforce why she's so dogmatic about things. Abe was a bard of at least level 15. Okay, and then we're gonna go and fill this out real quick. She knows 3 cantrips. Uno, dos, tres. Actually, she's gonna know a 4th at this level. Ten spells known. Wizard list. 4, 3, and 2. Again, they're not heavy spellcasters, but they have enough for some good utility. Let's see. Yeah, 8 plus proficiency plus intelligence modifier. Okay, so now we need to go, and I think we have to start assigning some of our scores and bumps. Dex and Int are going to be huge for her. We should give her a 15 starting there, and we can give her a 14 starting here, plus the 2 is going to be a 16. So we have these taken care of. See, we're on the shores of the lake, I guess, with this. Wisdom would probably be good, because she's not especially good at perception. She does have medicine. And being on this island, I think it would be important for her to at least have some ability to look out and to look and listen, and that might even be how this all came to pass. So tentatively, why don't we throw a 13 in her wisdom, and then we can throw a 12 in her con, 10 in her strength, and you know what? If you're a hermit, you're living on this like weird island out in the middle of a lake by a town built on ruins, and you're of this old order, you're probably not going to be too charismatic. Charisma, for the longest time, was almost always the joke dump stat. In this case, we haven't done that a lot for these characters, but for her, there's the 8. That's the dump stat. Yeah, bubonic one, 8 or 10 charisma. She's probably, socially awkward. It doesn't mean she's like offensive necessarily, but she's just quiet, or she says the wrong things in the wrong situations. Alright, so 12 goes to 13, and we'll get rid of that. She's level 14, so she is going to get 3 stat bumps, and we rolled for no feats on her. So ability score, and the third at 12th. I think 1 should definitely go here. 2 can round this up, because we'll go 2 and 1, right? So there's some bumps. And then the third one, why don't we split between Dex and Int, setting her up for her next one, and then she can raise her Int also. Typical gnome. Yeah, I guess in a way so, bubonic one. Wisdom for medicine. Agree with the rest. Okay. So, there we go. She's leveled up there. This means that she... and remember, if your con score changes to increase your modifier as you're playing, you go back through all of your levels. You can reap a lot of hit points by increasing your con, because it's retroactively accumulating, which means at first level she'll get her 8, but then even though she started at a lower con modifier, now that it's higher, we're just going to treat her con modifier as 2. So 2 times 14 is going to be 28. And then she is going to get 13 times 5. Because she has D8 hit dice. And we're doing the half plus 1 method. I should be able to do this in my head. Shame on me. 13 times 5. 65. But I guess for the sake of expediency. So we have 36. So we have 11, carry the 1, 7. So she has 101. That's not too bad. Unless I did my math wrong, and because I'm hurrying through this. If you guys catch something odd, then let me know. No temps at the outset. Proficiency. These are dex based. So this is going to be 5 plus 4 is 9. Down the line. Dagger is 1d4 plus 4 piercing. Short bow was 1d6 plus 4 piercing. And a rapier... a rapier is a d6 or a d8. If any of you have that, can look it up and provide it real quick, as we're kind of scrolling through here. Yeah, it is. It is a lot of hit points for a little rogue. Oh, so wait, so it'd be... So every level, for the next 13, she gets... It'd be 13 times 7. And then she gets 8 plus 2, yeah, is 10. So she has 101. She's a little tanky thing. Leathers provide 11 plus dex, so this is going to be 15 in leather armor. Her initiative is going to be a plus 4. Uh, 1dx, I gotta look that up, plus 4 piercing. 10 is a 0. This is a plus 4. This is a plus 2. This is a plus 3. This is a plus 2. And charisma is a minus 1. And she's used to being alone on the island, so, you know, she comes to the village for supplies, and she's not too graceful. She doesn't know how to call safety when it's necessary. Rapier's D8? Okay. Thank you. Or in this case, her long Phillips head screwdriver is a D8. Acrobatics is Dex 4, and that's going to be a 9. Yes, because we did not give her expertise in that. Other dex is... She is proficient, so 10. This is... Ooh. Oh my goodness. Same with sleight of hand. Plus 14. Religion is going to get a double, so that's going to be plus 12. Investigation is intelligence. That's going to be a plus 8. And proficiency is a plus 7 on that one. Her normal wisdom is a plus 2, which is going to carry down here. Having a lower insight is fine. She doesn't really talk to a lot of people, so it's difficult for her to kind of know if they're snowing her over. Arcana is int. She's going to get a plus 3 there. Plus 3 on history. Plus 3 on nature. Then we have athletics, which is strength, so a plus 0. That was easy. Deception. She's not going to tell a lie very well. Doesn't mean she won't try. She just might not do a good job of it. She tries to tell a story and it just reads off like an instruction manual. Hey, at least it's not a mace that looks like a spanner. What else do we have here? All that carried over. We have her skills. We took into consideration expertise. Just to be certain, we're going to make it... There we go. We'll do that. And we'll do that to make it a little bit easier. 15 AC is really good for a rogue too when only going with basic. Yeah, and pardon. Especially if she has things like stealth or some of the spells that we'll choose for her that'll increase it. Either her odds of just not being found and engaging in combat, or her speed, or the way that she can get out of combat. We've kind of accidentally on purpose rolled into a really solid rogue. Her passive perception is going to be 12, because remember that's 10 plus the wisdom or the perception modifier, based off of wisdom. Okay, we're gonna go to her spells. Think about her hair, her skin, her eyes. We're gonna need a name at some point in time. It could be an alias, or it could just be, maybe she's never told anyone her name, or she lost it as being a part of this organization, and so her name is just what the villagers call her when she rolls into town, and so she answers to that. We can do all sorts of RP stuff. But yeah, start thinking about names, eyes, skin, and hair as we come down here. Spellcasting abilities int. Her spell save is 8 plus proficiency, which is 13, plus her int, which was a 3. Yep. Spell save is 16. And her spell attack bonus is going to be a plus... 5 plus 3 is 8. I can math. She gets the wizard list. Although I need to double check real quick, because the Eldritch Knight restricts the type of spells or the school, and I forgot to double check in Arcane Trickster if that is the same thing. If she can only choose, like, I don't know, illusion and abjuration or something. Here we go. 3, okay, of your choice, 2 of which, okay, just 2 of which you must choose from the enchantment and illusion spells on the wizard spell list. The spells known column and the Arcane Trickster spellcasting table. Okay, yes, she is restricted to enchantment or illusion. So we'll just indicate that here. Wizard list, enchantment, or illusion. Okay, more, yeah. It doesn't look like, oh, the spells you learn at 8th, 14th, and 20th levels can come from any school of magic. So that is going to... Whenever you gain a level in this class, you can replace one of the wizard spells you know with another of your choice from the wizard spell list. The new spell must be of a level for which you have spell slots and must be an enchantment or an illusion spell unless you're replacing a spell you gained at 8th, 14th, or 20th. Yeah, I haven't personally built an Arcane Trickster yet, so this is... I'm having to absorb this too alongside you. Wizard does open up a lot, though with this one exception, they limited it down to enchantment and illusion. But the spells you learn at 8th, 14th can come from any school. So what's the difference here between 7th and 8th level? You still have... Okay. So one of your known spells, because there's no spell slot difference. So you go from 5 spells known to 6, meaning that so far we can have one any wizard spell. And then at 14th, we go from 9 to 10. So of the 10 spells we know at this level, 2 of them can be any wizard spell. Yep. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Okay. Now, let's, with the exception of the physical traits, if you all are thinking about that, a name and her physical traits, let's go down to spells and go to our wizard spell list here. Again, if you have a question on a particular spell, let me know and I'll fast forward to it. We need to be within certain parameters, though. Acid Splash, Blade Ward, Chill Touch, Dancing Lights. So I think we're going to be at something like Minor Illusion. I think Dancing Lights. I will double check these here. Friends. If you can't make them yourself, you can try and magically influence people. And you know what? If she's dogmatic and maybe she just has a certain lifestyle, it's just easier to go up to someone and say, have a good day. And they're like, oh, you have a great day too. It was a fun conversation. I don't believe she has access to 4th level spells yet. Bubonic one. And what else would we have as enchantment or illusion? I wonder if True Strike is enchantment. Let's check this out. Control F, True Strike. That's divination. Bother. Let's just make sure then. Friends. We're going to go to spells. We're going to do this wisely. Here we go. That is enchantment. We'll just write that down here in case your DM ever looks at your spell sheet, and that way you can show him or her that you're not going to be a fibber. So True Strike is going to have to go since that's divination. Dancing Lights is... That's evocation. Okay, so that one's going to have to go too. D, E, F. Oh no, wait, we already looked that one up. I'm looking up minor illusion. Derp. That is illusion. That I figured. Doesn't hurt to be safe though. It does say oh, that's true. Because they have that whole mechanic with Mage Hand anyway. Good to point out. That's probably because, unless we look at splat books, we're probably coming to an odd kind of bottleneck in how many cantrips actually are illusion or enchantment. Let's come back here. Wizard cantrips. I think Blade Ward is Abjuration. Chill Touch is Necromancy. Friends. Maybe Light. Maybe Mending. Mending would work if that is something she can take. Right? She's a Tinkerer. Let's see if this will work. Mending's Transmutation. Blah. Also, did it specify cantrips have to be in those classes or just the leveled spells? That's a good point you brought up. Paladin. Ranger. Thief. Here we go. You learn 3 cantrips, Mage Hand, and 2 other of your choice from the wizard spell list. Oh, okay, so no, I'm sorry, the cantrips can be anything. It's just the level 1 and above, with the exception, so now we're kind of going back and forth, with the exception of 2 of her known spells have to be of those. I don't think yep, memory lapse, that is true. We've confirmed what Steel Dust brought up. So thank you for doing that. Again, if you're trying to solo this, like keep it all in your brain, that's why I have my physical copy of my book and as we go through this. So, yep. Okay, now we can choose something then, I guess that's a little bit more handy for her. So we have Acid Splash, Blade Ward, Chill Touch, Dancing Lights, Firebolt, Friends, Light, Mage Hands, Mending. So Mending could, I think I could see Mending as working. Message, Minor Illusion, Poison Spray, Prestidigitation, Ray of Frost, Shocking Grasp, and True Strike. So that might mean, since we're not compelled here, Friends, so if she's not charismatic, then perhaps Friends, we can drop that, because then she just turns into a grumpy cat and she doesn't need to even worry about trying to make people like her. Minor Illusion. Mending. What if we went Shocking Grasp, right? She's a tinkerer. Let's think about it this way. So she's making something, and then she can use Shocking Grasp on it. Maybe that's what makes that's what charges the little battery, or does the, a little electromagnetic wind-up coil for the Tinker toy. That's what makes it alive! Plus, it's an offensive spell that she can use if she ever needed to, right? Someone's grabbing you, and you go, no, hands off, and zzz, you zap them. Okay, she has 10 spells known between these 3 levels. 2 of these spells can be from any school. The others have to be enchantment or illusion. Next. Next. Identify. Yeah, that's a... That one is a divination. That makes sense. Maybe... Illusory script. That is illusion. Ritual. Casting time 1 minute. Range touch. You write on parchment paper or some other suitable writing material and imbue it with a potent illusion that lasts for the duration. To you and any creatures you designate when you cast this spell, the writing appears normal, written in your hand, and conveys whatever meaning you intended when you wrote the text. To all others, the writing appears as if it were written in an unknown or magical script that is unintelligible. Alternatively, you can cause the writing to appear to be an entirely different message, written in a different hand and language, though the language must be one you know. Should the spell be dispelled, the original script and illusion both disappear. A creature with true sight can read the hidden message. And it lasts 10 days. That could be interesting, right? So she has this the scroll case. She has a scroll case full of writings. So maybe she's making these. These notes, and some of them she wants to send off to her order, or maybe she just thinks they're secret, and she has a little bit of paranoia that maybe someone wants to come by. It's a 1 minute ritual, right? So if she sees a boat rowing out to the island, and there's some sensitive pages, then she can, kind of quickly go woo, 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 and then it just turns into a shopping list of supplies that she needs, or a picture of a plant or something, and then, only she or members of her order can read what's actually there. Big Break says you only fool the plebs. Okay, we got to find a couple more here. Keep thinking of a name and some physical details for this gnomish Arcane Trickster that is solitary, lives on an island, very, stoic. So instead of friends, I don't know. I guess we can... Let's just put Charm Person as a possibility. I know that is enchantment. I know for sure... Ooh. Ooh. Yes, Tasha's hideous laughter is an enchantment. 1 action, 30 feet, verbal somatic material, and it is a concentration spell up to a minute. A creature of your choice that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter as the spell affects it. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration. A creature with an intelligence score of 4 or less isn't affected. At the end of each of its turns, and each time it takes damage, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. So it's not like it's a combat spell, but it takes someone out of combat by disabling them rather than dealing damage. And that might be a cool... that might be a cool, flavorful one. Alright, now we have some level 2 spells that we should pick up. Alter Self may be a good one. I'm fairly certain that is an enchantment. And... that can make her look like something else that could be important to survival or just remaining solitary on this island. Or if she only goes into the town under this new visage. Oh, that would be transmutation, evocation, divination. I think invisibility. Is illusion. A creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends, and that can last up to an hour. And it can be cast at higher levels. I'm gonna do the 8 required first, and then we'll go back and throw some things in for flavor. Bubonic one. And then we should probably maybe mirror image or phantasmal force might work. That is illusion. You craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of a creature you see within range. That's the one where you make one person think that they're seeing their absolute worst nightmare. Or, I don't know, you want to make someone see something that's they're very attracted to, you can alter people in that sense. Now let's get 2 second levels. And again, if you guys have other suggestions, that's fine. I'm just trying to find a couple, quick that are thematic and we can wiggle into her character. Big Break suggests for a name, Lilliannabell Thimblepot. Bubonic one. I think we'll use our 2 freebie slots in order to get at least a damage kind of a spell. Unfortunately, illusion and enchantment aren't really damage dealers outright, at least not until you get to really high level stuff. But you can use them for status effects, which is kind of the same thing, right? If you use Tasha's Hideous Laughter on a level 15 barbarian that's going to smash your face in, you have taken that barbarian out of combat as if you had just dealt all, 11 billion hit points of damage and damage reduction that it had. Instead, you have this, big lunk who's rolling on the ground and laughing at, I don't know, the moon or something. Third level. We can't do animate or bestow. Blink might be transmutation. That could be worth looking into. Dispel magic? What are you? Whoops. That's abjuration. Okay. Fear, feign death, fireball, fly, gaseous form, glyph of warding, haste. Is that enchantment? Nah, that's transmutation also. Alter self is transmutation. Okay. So we'll come back for a level 1. Thank you. Oh, hypnotic pattern. That's a combat spell. And is this conjuration, stinking cloud? Yeah, that's conjuration. Vampire touch. That's going to be transmutation. So why don't we do? Why don't we do the major image, which is also... Alright, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go back to level 2 and get a... and get another illusion or enchantment. Crown of Madness could work. One humanoid of your choice that you can see must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for the duration. While the target is charmed this way, a twisted crown of jagged iron appears on its head, and a madness glows in its eyes. The charmed target must use its action before moving on each of its turns to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself. Okay. I think we got our bread and butter spells done. Now we need 2 any spells that can be in any, well, actually, spellcasting, I'm sorry, classes. Let's go back down to Rogue real quick so we can take a look at their spell. Because one we might not be able to, one we would not be able to get because of the level difference. Rangers, Rogues. Here we go. So we still had second there, and what it was... It was 8th and 14th. Okay, so we still only knew first and second, and at 14... so one of our third level spells can be an any, and then... even our third level, and one of them has to only be first and second. Alarm and Arcane Lock are Abjuration, and it's a strong combo. Yeah, so Arcane Lock, if I recall correctly, you put, unless it's explosive runes I'm thinking of, you can lock away your things, and you make these magical, I don't want to say traps, but it is a magical lock. And if someone tampers with it, either it does set off an alarm, if not through the alarm spell, it might even just sort of like blow up in their face or discharge magic energy. I can see her as having alarm also, because of her hermit nature on the island, that she would have something like that set up. I like alarm. Arcane Lock isn't bad, but if we're going to give her that illusory script, that might be enough. We should probably give her kind of a straight-up combat spell, just so if something does happen, that she can, she can not just bug out of there, but actually, stand up and cast something that's a little bit bigger. Let's see. Stinking Cloud, Sleet Storm, Protection. Non-detection could be interesting then if we wanted to go for a higher level utility and a lower level damage. Out and out Fireball. Yeah, that's... You can't really go wrong with Fireball, can you? Let's tentatively put that down. Fireball. Good combat spell. So now she needs one spell of first or second level. That is, it can be damage. That's fine. I'm not against it. We can give her an odd necromantic power if we wanted. But something of any school that is first or second level. It could be something like Mage Armor, right? So she gives herself like a buff of AC. Or Shield, if she's worried about, like an individual attack, a magical shield will form. Maybe it forms, we can make it, she's a gadgeteer, so she made like a little sprocket, and so it projects the force through there. Chromatic Orb isn't bad, Memory Lapse. I think we've put it on a lot of our spellcasters, though. Because it is good, don't get me wrong. But if there's something else that might be maybe more specifically thematic to her, I'd like to focus on that. That is a solid suggestion, though. Hmm. Yeah, something that boosts AC. Or how about this? What if for second level we went with magic weapon? She's a tinkerer, right? So we can say, yeah, it's a magic spell, it's a wizard magic spell, but we can say that it's her imbuing her items with magical power. So she hits a little harder, she hits more accurately, and there are some creatures that just have straight up damage resistance against mundane weapons. You know, even that like big Kronk barbarian we said was coming up the hill before she tickled him with Tasha's hideous laughter. They have damage reduction against bludgeoning and whatnot, but if I recall correctly, they do not have damage resistance against magical weapons. So I think that's a good way for her to be able to imbue her creations with magic, but also give her a slight edge in combat. Okay. So we have, I think, a pretty good character here. Really solid. I think she'd be a ton of fun to play. We did have a name thrown out for her as a suggestion. We have a Lilliannabell Thimblepot. Let me make sure. 2 N's. Lilliannabell Thimblepot. Bell, yep. Okay, let's button her up. Eyes, skin, and hair. What do we got, boys and girls? What does she look like? Wavy hair? Is it short? Is it longer? Does she wear a ponytail? Does she put ribbons in it? Or is it full of like hairpins or berets so that she can use it? You know, she'll take it out and kind of use it as a tool and kind of puts it back in her hair. Bubonic one says gray eyes. What kind of gray eyes would you like her to have? Big and wide, watery, kind of like narrow and peering. Does she have long lashes? Does she look tired all the time, like she's got bags or just like dark circles? And remember, we need skin and hair too. I'm opening this up to you all because this is a storytelling session between both of us. This is like an interactive talk show. Okay. Cold gray eyes. If she lives on kind of a reclusive, overgrown island, she's probably going to have, like fairer skin, right? She's not making a lot of her own vitamin D. She's not seeing a lot of sunlight, especially because she has dark vision. Heck, maybe she just is. She's holed up in a cave, 90% of the time, because she can see pretty well in the dark. So maybe it's more pale, clammy skin. So she's got kind of like not like a permanent cold sweat, but she just, her skin is kind of like cave temperature, because that's where she hangs out most of the time anyway. And so it is a little pale. It's probably still smooth, but it just has that, I don't know, that clammy texture to it. Hair. Does she have, just like a big, like down to her butt hair, to her shoulders, middle of the back? Does she wear it short? Twin pigtails, curly, straight, wavy. Does she have it up in a perm? I don't know. She's magical, or things can exist. You know what? You said cold and disillusioned gray eyes, which is kind of funny. If they're disillusioned eyes, because she's an illusionist. I'll make the note that she can have up to 3 different tinker items out at a time, but you can switch them around, so it's not like we have to define what they are right now. Steel Dust is offering shoulder length, messy ponytail, reddish hair. So maybe more like kind of like an orange. Like if there's reddish, but are we talking red hair, or are we talking, like red hair, which is really like, ginger orange kind of a thing? I'm going to put orange as a placeholder for right now. Might be able to see why I went for a Forest Gnome Rogue Arcane Trickster, getting an extra cantrip and a boost to int. Yeah, that's... I remember you talking about that, and they make really good ones. Steel says, well, to be completely honest, I'm colorblind, so red is just kind of red. One of the guys I play with and run for is also colorblind. So I get what you're saying. Okay, but so really, I guess if we're talking in values, right? Because if it doesn't look like a color necessarily, do you want it, stronger or lighter? And so by saying ginger, you're thinking like a lighter hue of red. Okay, cold gray, the gray and the red. I'm not just saying this because I'm in Ohio, but gray and red do work well together. Pale, clammy skin. 3'4", 40 pounds. She's, she's 59 years old, so young adult. She's probably starting to get those lectures from her parents about why she's not married yet and doesn't have kids. And, you're going to be a crazy tinker lady one day. You have all these tinker toys around, and you take care of them, and they don't shut up. Go and find someone and say, oh, come on, Mom. And and freckles. That works. Cool. We have a character, everyone. I will be saving this as well. And I don't have sort of a Dropbox up just yet, but I'm still saving all these, and I'm going to end up touching them up too before I make them available to try and make them more consistent. I'm not going to go into a break and come back because I'm already a little past the time that I wanted to be here. But I super duper thank you all for taking time out of your day or evening to spend with me here, storytelling, breathing life into random numbers, making something from nothing. You have been consistently amazing, and I'm really appreciative of that. I hope you've had a lot of fun, that this has your own creative juices flowing. It's psyching you up for your weekend game, or it's making you want to run for someone else, or maybe even to step up your own game as a player. For the weekend, my personal or shop hours might be a little wonky. I might have another short, and by that I mean I'm only making one character tomorrow on Saturday. I mean, as of this is recorded. Sunday and Monday, though, I will not be broadcasting because those are my personal days to actually run and play D&D. This is really my first week of broadcasting, so I got to figure all this out. I'll get some kind of a tentative schedule posted at some point in time too, so you kind of get the feel of when is when, and is it going to be a longer or shorter. Bubonic One says, not Beck Me Red. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that type. So yeah, hey, you guys are awesome. Thank you. I will go, actually, kind of right now, I can do the ending card here. I will hang out in chat for just a couple minutes as I get everything saved and put away. So you can continue talking. Remember, you can still have some fun. For instance, ! Deck. Oh, I fat-fingered an L in there, so don't mind me.